everybody, welcome to the MD preview of the British Grand Prix. And who would be more suited than the premier bodybuilding journalist in the United Kingdom, Giles Tiger Thomas, joining us from England itself, I believe, yes?
Correct, Northern England.
Okay. They still have like different parts of England, like Wales and Scotland, or do they just no? They don't do that anymore.
They've not changed it since you last came. No.
Okay. So this the British Grand Prix. Obviously, it's a show near and dear to your heart because you've been to different versions of this show many times over the past over 20 years. Correct? Was that one of the first shows you ever went to?
It was the first pro show I went to in 1992. Was the first one I went to. I was 16 years old. And it was the day after Dorian Yates won the Mr. Olympia. And this is before the days of social media. And very few people even knew that he'd won. There was rumors in the crowd outside, but no one had it confirmed. So when they they had pretty much apart from Sean Ray and Leela Brada, they had the entire Olympia lineup because it was only a hop from Finland, the next day. And they left Dorian until the end. And then they said, and now the new Mr. Olympia. And then he came out through this archway, all this dry ice. And I remember just the noise. I mean, it was sold out. That's one of the most electrifying. I'm getting shivers just remembering it. It was such an amazing. Dorian came out. I don't think he even smiled.
No, he didn't smile at all back then. He didn't smile for like 15 years. But wow, so this was a week after he won the Olympia, and it wasn't even the day. Oh, it was the day after. Okay, so we'll give you guys a little slack on that one because a week should have been enough time to get the word out. But wow, so this contest is also very unique this year because COVID forced it to move up from the date of Saturday original date, which most contests are on Saturdays. It's happening tomorrow as we speak, Tuesday right now. It's happening on a Wednesday, which is crazy because it's your prime minister. What's his Boris Yeltsin? What's his name?
Boris Johnson.
Johnson. Okay, different guy. But he's locking you guys down again Friday, correct?
Yes.
Yay! Where's that sound effect with the kids going, yay?
Lockdown was great, but I know it sounds awful. I mean, obviously, it was an awful thing to happen. The whole lockdown. It's been very stressful. But I was very fortunate in the position I had. The studio in the house and everything, which I set up last October. It enabled me to really kind of hyper focus on my work, which is with Global and all the different things I've been doing with Ronnie and all those sort of things. My writing, extra stuff for MD. So it MD benefited from the lockdown. I mean, if you want to look at it that way, but. Like I said, no gym sucks, but I have a funny feeling I might have some way into a gym somewhere, maybe.
Oh, okay, yeah, I mean, many of us who do this as a living or are very serious about it, we have our ways of finding gyms if we really, really need to. But let's talk about the show. This is it was supposed to. Yeah.
Can I give you two slightly interesting British Grand Prix trivia facts?
Yes, you may.
The 2002 British Grand Prix was Dexter Jackson's first ever pro win.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 2002.
Okay, so it took him 4 years of being a pro. Well, 99, 2000. His fourth season as a pro before Dexter won a show.
Correct, and it was very close between him and Dennis James. It was a really good call. I was at that one, and a fantastic one. And the other slightly interesting fact was it's one of only 2 times where a bodybuilder has gone from last to first in the same contest in 1 year. That was Charles Claremont from 1992 to 1993.
Did he go from last in 92 to first in 93?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I was hoping it wasn't the other way. Yeah. Interestingly, Charles is one of the pay-per-view commentators for this.
He is. Yes, he is. Yeah, Charles Claremont and Abs, his friend, is from Body Limits Gym. One of his friends of. They're always together. Those two, they're like partners. They're good buddies. So they're doing the live stream.
Not just them. George White, I believe is his name. George UK on the MD boards.
He was down to do it, but I think he can't take the day off because he's a teacher. So unfortunately, when they moved it to the Wednesday, he can't now do it. So unfortunately, he can't make it. So I think he must be disappointed because that was probably a big opportunity for George because he's a great guy and he's got a lot of knowledge.
Yeah, that's too bad. But this show easily could have been canceled, like so many other shows.
Yeah,
it would have been a shame because these guys are all dieting. Some of the names are here; they're already in shape from other contests. But I'm sure there's going to be a lot of athletes in here who are specifically getting ready for this show, and it would have been a shame if it didn't happen. Mm-hmm. So let's go right out of the gate with the favorite to win this, and he wants to win this for his friend, the late Luke Sandeau, James Hollingshead. James just got his first pro win. Couple weeks, but about a month now since Spain. And time's flying.
2-3 weeks.
3 weeks. Yeah, I think it's been 3 weeks since Alicante, Spain, the Europa Pro. So, James has done this show before. I believe last year he did it and took third behind Nathan Dasha and Samson Dauda.
Yep.
But James is a different bodybuilder today than he was a year and a half ago. He's put on a lot more size. Looking at this list, we'll run down the names. It's a lot of usual suspects. But, Samson's in it, Mark Hector's in it, Regan's in it. These are all people that he just beat 3 weeks ago. So unless somebody looks dramatically better or James somehow looks dramatically worse, I don't see how James can't win this.
I'd be very surprised if James doesn't. He really had pushed the conditioning, because his condition was good in Alicante. But for me, he was lacking detail. And I know I caught a lot of shit for that. But I was commenting based upon what I was seeing on the live stream. And if you look at him from his lead-up pictures, where he was just looking absolutely, it looked like he was perfect. His conditioning, is everything. Yeah. For me, he lacked a bit of detail on Alicante. And I think from what I think is, again, we're only going upon what we see from the Instagram. But from what I've seen, his conditioning is next level again. Especially around the glutes and the hamstrings, and there's a bit more pop going on in his chest and shoulders, which I felt like he lacked in Alicante. A lot of his fans, because he has a big fan base now. I think they were a bit upset with me when I said that I was disappointed from what I saw on the live stream based upon what I was seeing in the lead-up pictures. Because some bodybuilders are the opposite. You had guys like Jamie the Giant, Jamie Christian Johal, and Mark Hector that for me were just looking exactly the same in the lead-up pictures. And then when they got on stage, then I thought they translated better from their Instagram, which is kind of, whereas James looked like Mr. Olympia in the lead-up pictures. But for me, I was expecting a bit more pop and a bit more detail, which I do actually expect to see this weekend, because he really, being from a pro show winning level of condition and really staying on it day in, day out for another 2, 3, 4 weeks, like I said, however long it was, that's really going to make a big difference to his physique. And the thing is, he's going to qualify for two. If he wins this tomorrow, he's qualified for this year's Olympia by way of winning Alicante, and he's qualified for next year's Olympia. So if he wins this, which I'm confident he will, then he's going to be. I mean, he's going to be on such a buzz, knowing that he's qualified for next year's Olympia as well.
His nickname now is the Shed. Did you know that? Shed.
Do you know why?
Shirt. I assume it's because Hollingshead, Shed, something that sounds like his name.
Well, actually, I say like I know what I'm talking about, but I'm just taking a guess.
I think that's what it is.
It's because he always poses in front of his garden shed, I'm guessing.
Okay. But don't all these guys, like Jamie's always in front of a shed.
Yes. So have you actually seen the pictures that Jamie poses in front of? Have you seen the sign on the back on the door?
What's it say?
It says Jamie's shit house.
You guys have outhouses? You don't have indoor plumbing? Come on, give it the program, guys.
Well, it's I don't know. I went to his gym actually a few weeks ago, Jamie, when we filmed him for Globe Muscle doing legs.
Yeah.
It was a nice enough area, but I think they might have inside toilets there now.
I hope so. Yeah, just a quick note about these live streams. The quality does vary, and even when it's 4K, we're going off a computer monitor. It's not easy, guys. It's not easy to really judge condition. That's why, like, Bob Chick used to always get a lot of heat for saying you had to be there, you had to see it in person, because seeing these guys from the front row, right where the judges see them, it's very, very different. Even high res pictures, it's hard to get a full grasp of detail and separation and things from photography the way it is real life.
See, the thing is, it's like when your cell phone pictures were coming into the group chat, which will be transferred to the MD forum. Yeah. Based upon that from the New York Pro, I had Valier 5th, and then if you watch Global Muscle when I get access to the high resolution images, you see I'm actually on. You see my reaction going, holy shit! And then I watch the pose down, the video, and you see my reaction to it. I think it was episode 8 or 9, something like that. Yeah. And you see me go, oh, whoa, it's a completely different story. And I was completely turned around on it. So sometimes, we have to make a call based upon what we've got access to, whether it be images, phone images. And I think the thing with the live stream and the camera images, it tends to favor the guys with the really good structures. Like for me, Mark Hector in the Alicante was a standout. I mean, he got 7th place, but for me, he was a standout because of that shoulder to waist, which obviously, the resolution, it doesn't matter what the resolution is, that's going to be noticeable. Right. Did you see what I mean? Or
yeah, I don't want to throw shade at this one. There was one particular live stream over the last couple months that I think you had access to it too. We were trying to comment, and my God, dude, it was it was so bad. It was like somebody filmed on a flip phone from like 2001. That's how bad it was. You couldn't tell if they were fat, ripped, nothing. You could just
Yeah.
kind of see blobs, and it was bad. So let's go on to Samson Dauda. Now, James did beat him this time, and Samson beat him last time. Samson's the underdog that everyone's rooting for because he's had such trials and tribulations this year with contests being pushed back and canceled and locked up in a hotel room in South Korea, and they're sliding like maggot infested rice under the door. Not probably exaggerating, but yeah, let's hope not. But Samson does have a hell of a physique, hell of a. If he sharpens up a bit more, do you see it within the realm of possibility he could take out James?
He has. I mean, it's kind of like comparing back in the day, if you're a '90s fan, comparing Dorian Yates to Flex Wheeler. Flex Wheeler's got a prettier, like Samson. He's got a prettier physique. He's got nicer tie-ins and nicer lines. But then you've got the hard granite, dense, full. I mean, actually, I'm sure I saw Samson on his Instagram. He said he was 271 or 278 or 273. I mean, he's in the 270s, and he doesn't. In fairness, he doesn't actually look that heavy. Yeah. But he's actually the kind of same kind of body weight as James Hollingshead. But James looks so much denser and thicker and grainier and stuff. Whereas Samson's got that prettier kind of, everything kind of flows and fits and I can't think of a better word than flow.
I like the word bubble. He's got that round, the fullness, that bubbly look that, Dorian never had that. James is probably never going to have that real round. He's thick and he's huge guy, but that roundness, that's something you have it or you don't. But moving on to the next guy, Mark Hector definitely has that too. Mark Hector's got some muscle bellies to die for, this guy. And like you said, the waist is just, it reminded, we compared him to, who was the guy who won a bunch of NABBA shows as well as Brian Buchanan. Yeah.
Yeah. I see that.
Total X-frame on the guy with better legs than Brian had. But, Mark, that was his first pro show. And he's definitely someone to watch. Top 3, top 2, top 3. I mean, how well do you think he could possibly do in this show?
He could make top 3. I could see that. I mean, everyone is talking about Mark Hector. I mean, if you watch any episodes of Global, people are bringing him up, prompted in interviews, and everyone's just so impressed with this guy. I mean, and it's funny to think if you put him next to James or Samson, he's about 40 pounds lighter. He's not. I don't think he's even 230.
Wow.
Whereas Samson and James are like in the 270s, I don't know what they'll be like on what they weigh on stage, but he's given away a lot of weight, but because he's got that structure, the shoulder to waist difference, your eyes are drawn to him, and he has that fresh pop to his physique and the clean lines and he's he said he was 8 kilos heavier than when he turned pro in 2018. And it really, he's impressed me so much this year because, like I said, in the run-up, I didn't see any improvements. And then he posted one last couple of pictures about a week or two out, and I was like, whoa, what's happened to him, And his readable bicep. I mean, that's a jaw dropper, Like it's kind of very, the way the delts pop off the bone. They're very Dexter Jackson, and some of the poses is very like Sean Roden. So he's got a kind of like it's like a combination of all these like these really genetically gifted bodybuilders with really clean lines, but he's one that is certainly on the up. I mean, his career is just going to go through the roof now because he's been prepped by Abdullah.
Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah, he's back and forth to Kuwait. And actually, Abdullah said to him, he says, like he said to Brandon in 2016, he said, I could make you Mr. Olympia.
Wow. Well, I don't think Abdullah says that lightly. When he says it, I think he really means it. So
if that worked for Brandon, that will make Mark the 2023 Mr. Olympia.
Well, I mean, Mark, all he really needs is more size if you look at him.
Yeah.
Shape, I don't see weak body parts. The shape is phenomenal. It's like Brandon. Brandon just needed to bridge that gap between, he was a little too big to be at 212, but he was not really big enough to do damage in the open. And then he went to Kuwait and history story. He got 25 pounds bigger. So good luck, Mark. Last two guys in the open we'll talk about are not British, but they're decided they're going to do the British Grand Prix. It's not a show only for British people, by the way, guys. You can be from somewhere else. Regan Grimes from Canada, who has been in Spain since the Spain show, didn't bother to go back because he had told everyone he was doing Romania. And when we did our interview last week, He didn't want me to, off camera, he didn't say, don't say anything, but I'm doing the British Grand Prix too. I'm like, oh, good for you. You know, why not? You're already over there, might as well. Instead of just waiting for Romania, which is a week, you know, it's going to be 10 days later. So Regan, very impressed with him in Alicante. He was 4th place. Man, he's getting better and better gradually, putting on the size gradually over the past few years instead of trying to blow up like immediately like some of these young guys do and ruin their bodies. But I think Regan, I don't see him beating James because, you know, James has just crazy density and detail, but Regan's got a pretty physique with a lot of size on him.
Very, 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 very nice physique. But I've yet to see him totally shredded. And I'm to be honest, I'll get excited when I see him shredded because, you know, when you see these guys with these beautiful genetic physiques, you know, and he's got a lot of mass, he's got a lovely balance, lovely lines. I get frustrated when they don't turn up like really, really detailed, and they look amazing and shredded in Instagram, and then you see him on stage and like, you know. But Regan's like Regan's top 10 Olympian material, you know, and but he's not. He's like, he kind of reminds me like Akeem Williams or Steve Kuclo up till about 2 years ago, when then they started to really nail it consistently. Since I want to see Regan taking that level up now with his conditioning and detail, because he is a guy that has so much potential. Once he nails it, then I think it's going to be, he's going to be winning shows like this for fun.
Right on. Yeah, no doubt. Last guy in the Open we'll talk to is, I'm not even sure what country he's from. Is it Switzerland, France? Florian Poirson. It's probably pronounced Poisson, like fish. 26 years old. You just confirmed before we weren't sure if he was competing. You confirmed it with his coach, Patrick Tour, because we didn't get a list for the show, guys. It was, you know, the show's been trying to hustle and make things last minute arrangements. So we're trying to figure out who was in the show and who wasn't, but Florian is in the show. Yep. Will this be, first of all, do you know where he's from?
France.
Oh, he is from France. Okay.
But he lives in Rome with his girlfriend.
Gotcha. Will this be his first pro show?
No, he took 4th at the Portugal last year when he turned pro. Sorry, sorry. Yes, he won the amateur at the Portugal Pro last year, and then he took 4th in the pro show. Wow. Here's a guy who's 26 years old. He's going to be 262. As of today, he's 262 pounds. Wow. His waist is absolutely, it's like that. For me, he's like a modern, like a new version of Dennis Wolf. I mean, wow. He's very, very bottom heavy though, and I think, and Patrick said he would like to see him a little bit better conditioned, but they kind of they did a very rush prep. But I'm expecting him to certainly get noticed here at this show. I think he'll get I'm not sure about top 3, based upon the length of the prep time, because he's going up against guys like Regan Grimes and Samson and Mark and James, so he's going to need to be absolutely bang on for this, which I think he's going to be in good condition, just not dry shredded condition, you know. Yeah.
So 212, they do have a 212 division. They actually have most of the divisions.
So 1 second, Jamie the Giant's competing as well.
Did I not write it? You're right. Jamie, I'm so sorry. My bad. It's not just because I'm jealous that you're 8 feet tall. Jamie the Giant. Now, Jamie, I was much more impressed with him when I finally saw the high-res pictures, even than I was with Instagram pictures, which is rarely the case. Usually, like you said, people look usually a lot better on Instagram in their bathroom at 3:22 p.m. with the sun coming just at that angle and everything. But he impressed the hell out of me. Geez. He's not really lacking much. I want to see a lot more hamstring development and some more calf development, but you don't expect a guy who's 6'5" to have really nice quad development. You don't expect him to have a really good V taper, because a lot of them tend to be more straight up and down, but he's really got a structure you don't see that often on someone that tall. And man, that was a great pro debut for him. He's put himself on the map very quickly.
One thing, can you move your mic back? Your voice is coming very deep.
Oh. How about there? Does it sound like a robot still?
You sound really like you got a really like Barry White voice. Are you trying to you doing that to show off?
No, I don't know why it does that sometimes. I apologize to everybody. Have I sounded like that this whole time?
No, just about a few minutes ago.
Still now though?
Yeah.
All right, guys, you're just gonna have to deal with it. I'm sorry. So we'll let Giles talk with his sweet, sexy voice.
You got your sexy trend voice going on there, mate.
My bad, guys.
Okay, yeah. Jamie the Giant, absolutely amazing. I think his front last spread is absolutely phenomenal. Fantastic pro debut. I think he said he's going to be even harder than he was in Alicante. But there's a guy that translated very, very well to the stage. Came in, I think he said it was about 10 pounds heavier than when he turned pro in 2018. Like you said, I'm so happy the guy's got good quads, because at 6'5", if he didn't have good quads, he'd be wasting his time.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really happy for Jamie. I really want to get him an invite to the Arnold Classic, because I think he'd be a real draw, because he's very polished, very conditioned, and I think he's a real star on the rise, mate. I really, really do. I think he's 33, said he was, so he's got plenty of time.
Yeah, I mean the invite, they invited Morgan Ass from France for we're still in 2020. It's the longest year ever, but he got invited. So I think Morgan's was a tall, crazy, big, shredded guy. I don't see why, if they want something similar to that, guys, Arnold Classic promoters, Mr. Lorimer, Jamie the Giant, Joel Hall Christian, that his name? Yeah. Look him up, guys. So 212 division. Once I saw this guy's name confirmed on the Two Bros Pro Events Instagram page, I said, probably your winner. It's Angel Calderon Frias from he's from Spain, I believe, isn't he?
He's Spanish. Yeah, Angel Calderon. He 10th place at the Olympia last year. He won the Romania Pro in one of the most shocking conditions I've ever seen any 212 or any pro in. He was just, he was in good condition at Olympia, and then he did something extra special for Romania last year. He's actually qualified for the Olympia last year. But obviously he's looking to try and qualify for next year's Olympia here, which is very smart, very, very smart, because he won Alicante. Right. The guy who came second to him, Ole Krudyi, I can't say his name. He was very impressive. He's going to the Olympia as well. But Angel, I've got no doubts that he'll win this. And I think he'll win it quite clearly. But here's a guy I'd like to see first call out at the Olympia, because I think he could be top 6. Yeah,
I mean, we were so impressed with him last year, and I think he was 10th. And we were like, 10th play, because I think he was in the second call out. We're like, call him back with the other guys. Come on, let him stand. But whatever. Sometimes it takes a year or two to catch up. But man, Angel is no joke. Just so much dense, thick muscle, crazy condition. It's like a little, he reminds me. He's a 212 in the same vein as like a Jose or Dave Henry, just packed. Yeah. So much muscle packed into such a small area. He's awesome.
Spanish Jose Raymond. He's like a replacement for Jose now that Jose's retired at the 212.
Exactly. And the other 212 I saw on the list from Germany, Steve Benton, also very good. It's a tough act to follow. And we just talked about Angel, but Steve's very, very complete physique, very balanced, proportionate, gets in a good condition. He should give Angel a run for his money. Last guy we'll talk about is Classic. I only saw one guy that I knew that I'd seen before, and it was Mike Sommerfeld from Germany, who is, I believe he's Neil Hill's client, isn't he? Yeah, and I assumed he was going to win the Alicante show until I watched the stream, and he could have been a lot harder. He wasn't 100% there, but he's had 3 weeks, and I don't know who else he's up against. I don't know if any of the guys that beat him are going to be in this. So that's my pick right now is for Classic, probably Mike Sommerfeld.
Yeah, good bet. I mean, I saw him when he turned pro at the 2018 London Pro. He won the amateur there, and then he turned pro there. And he did. He was 212, and then he switched to Classic, which was a surprise. But I've never seen him totally shredded yet. Totally shredded. But I mean, what a structure! I mean, he's like Mark Hector, the shoulder to waist and the front lat spread. He looks like he's been photoshopped when you see him in certain poses. When he lifts his arms up and his lats come out like almost like a 70-degree angle from his torso. You just think, how do you even train for that? I mean, that kind of structure. So here's again, fantastic legs, great full quads, beautiful physique, great poser. So yeah, I think it'd be very, very cool if he wins this and qualifies for next year's Olympia.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly thought, because I didn't know who else was going into Spain. I had him pegged to win that show. On our preview, I believe that was my pick. But this could be it, Mike. I'm usually not wrong twice in a row. Usually only once, and then I get it right. So that's it. There's a lot more competitors, but again, we didn't have access to a list yet. Props to the promoters, Ian and his team, for getting this thing rescheduled and reorganized. Because, geez, to take a show that was supposed to be on a Saturday and then have everybody involved, the venue, everybody that has to work at the show. Sorry, guys, we're doing it Wednesday now. Can you imagine all the crazy rescheduling? How many, 1,000 phone calls and emails and text messages? And, I'm sure a lot of people weren't available. And so anyway, it's going off. Congratulations, guys. And I'm sorry to hear about you guys going into lockdown again, but it's 2020, man. You can't expect anything else but shocking surprises like that. Hopefully it won't be for long. Hopefully you guys will be back to normal soon, like the rest of the world. We hope the rest of the world is just past this very soon. Yeah. Yeah. And this is actually, we're going to rush and get this out today, so I don't have to make any snide remarks about the presidential voting today happening here in the U.S. because
Okay.
the results still won't be. My prediction is the results won't fully be in for like a month.
Really?
Yeah, they've been voting by mail, and it's going to be a shit show. It's going to be tough. Yeah, whoever loses will not accept the loss. They'll say that can't be right. We got to go recheck, and it's going to be nuts. But anyway, you'll be watching the pay-per-view, correct?
Tomorrow, yeah, 4 p.m.
Yeah. So thanks to you, we are going to have play-by-play of this event, and there's nobody else that could do it because these people, these athletes better than anybody. I'll just be along for the ride, checking in, eating my popcorn, and making my own little comments here and there. But you're the man. So guys, join us. I can't remember what the times were. You are 5 hours ahead of Eastern Standard Time in the U.S. Do you know what time judging starts?
4 p.m. for the Open.
4 p.m. for the Open. So back time. That's 11 a.m. if you're on the East Coast of the U.S. guys.
Yeah. Also the host of Buff Bombshell show. She's going to be doing some of the female classes on the play-by-play.
Oh, okay. That is Emma?
No, the other one, Lauren Lotter.
Oh, Lauren Lotter. Okay. There's two hosts. Lauren and Emma. Am I right?
Yep.
Okay, I'll get it right. I'm bad with names. You know this. But, at
One,
least I don't play.
The brunette, one blonde.
Okay. Lauren is the brunette. Emma is the blonde. Emma's the posing expert. And Lauren is still actively competing. She's a new pro?
She got second at the British final. She just missed out on a pro card, but she's competing next year.
Oh, in America, that would have given you a pro card, second place.
Yeah, I'll tell her that, yeah.
Yeah, we love giving out pro cards here. Okay, well, Giles, thank you so much for doing this with me. Thank you for the play-by-play commitment for tomorrow, guys. So that thread is going to be up on the musculardevelopment.com No Bull Forum. British Grand Prix play-by-play with Giles Tiger Thomas starting at 11 a.m. Actually, the judging is going to be much, much earlier than that. So by the time you guys wake up in the morning, you'll probably be able to check out his commentary on the judging. I believe that's going to be at like noon or something. I'm not sure.
11 a.m. EST time. So that's 4 p.m. UK
well, that's
time.
Is that the finals or that judging?
That's just judging, and then we'll just keep on.
Okay. So that's what most of you guys are interested in is the men's open. So that's going to be 11 a.m. Eastern time in the U.S., 4 p.m. over the United Kingdom. Yes. Not England. That's just part of the United Kingdom, apparently. I keep getting geography lessons every day. All right. Thanks, Giles. Appreciate it. And guys, thank you for watching. And check out that play-by-play tomorrow of the British Grand Prix. We'll see you next time.